Are we live?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, we're live. Yeah.
Hi.
well, welcome people to the Salt Grinder. Um, it's clear how Corona is affecting our sanity.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, busy. It has been a busy week, people, hasn't it?
Oh, very, very busy.
Yeah, it's been
I
very
cannot finish
fucking
myself
busy.
and things. Well, too busy.
I just, I've never had a week that passed so fast. It's already the middle of the week. Huh? I've just been waiting a month for that to happen.
No, I can't recall when the last time I slept. This curfew
I
has been getting on me.
I wish I
Uh,
have Corona just to spice things up.
yeah,
That's what.
just to make things interesting. I
Uh,
Yeah,
thought of going out during curfew just to see what happens.
I thought of it
Well,
too, but they
yeah,
changed the laws and I got scared. I'm not
yeah,
gonna
they
lie.
made it a bit too expensive. Uh,
Too expensive.
Too expensive, yeah.
like, like, here's my thing. I sleep at the start of the curfew, and then when the curfew ends, and then I wake up at the start of the curfew. So I don't get I don't get the benefits of going outside.
Uh,
It has, everything has been shifted. I sleep 4 times, and I never know that I've slept. It's 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 always like
well,
I
I
open my eyes.
can.
Like, did I sleep? Like every time. It's been odd. It's been depression.
It's been
Uh,
slow. It's been boring. It's been repetitive. And yeah, the isolation is getting on me.
yeah,
And
I assume it's getting on everybody. But how are you guys handling it? Like, how are you getting your social spice? Are you going to family? Are you just trying to stay online? Are you texting people, hoping
Oh,
people
it's
you've never
amazing.
texted before?
Actually, it's amazing because I found out that my parents are actually interesting.
in one
Okay.
way or another, why do I feel
Uh,
like you're saying it in a sarcastic way?
because it is, goddammit.
Yeah, you'd never think, huh, having lived with them for like 15 years, that they have something new to offer, huh?
Uh, in this year, I've been going out every day. I don't think I've skipped a day not going out. So just staying here for 4 to 3 days, it feels so weird. Seeing your mom and dad under discussion. Why am I even here? Like,
Uh,
oh my god, it's killing me in the inside. I think so.
Me personally, I do not. This is my world right now. This room. There's nothing outside of it. I brought everything in here, and I'm just using it. And it's my walking, my traveling now is from this chair to this bathroom, and then to this bed. And that's I only go out for food, and I'm also trying to campaign to get my food like coming for me, like just cut the middleman and just plant myself here.
Yeah.
It's mostly like again like there's nobody to like. Okay, my family like are here's our money. Uh,
Guys,
hey, aren't you supposed to be at work?
I have the day off today.
What, you can't have days off. You work at Best Buy.
No, no, we get days off. I didn't think I would either. I usually have Saturday, Sunday off, but I have the day off today. So this won't be a common reoccurrence. I'm gonna be mainly on the Friday streams, but
is it paid for though?
no, it's not a paid day off. It's one of my regular days off.
Oh,
Okay.
right, right. But it's Monday. You guys have work on Monday, right?
Yeah, we work Monday. No, it's Tuesday over here.
Oh, right, right,
It's
right. It is
Tuesday.
Tuesday. It is. See. That's been
Yep.
my case. Like I don't
Yeah,
know
gotta
days.
fix your
It's
sleep
like,
You
schedule.
summarize
You
it
gotta
up.
fix your
Yep.
sleep schedule.
Yep.
I don't know where I am.
Gotta keep it consistent.
No, but with Fancy, you said that you found that your parents were actually interesting. You know what? I found out that I want to avoid my parents as much as possible during this period for the sake of my own sanity. Okay,
The
that's what I'm
problem is
finding.
everything. The problem is everything's closed. So it's like I can't go to like the library or something like that.
I have my library at home, so I'm good with that. Like I have the tools. It's just that I still, the fact that I can't get out is still getting to me. 'Cause,
No, it is.
again,
It is.
Uh,
It's being around the people that's the problem.
I
mhm.
want to go and goddamn see the beach.
And
For a
my
sec.
hair is really messed up right now because all the
Fucking weird.
barber shops are closed.
Well,
um,
So I
Trillian
can't
can
get a
relate.
haircut.
Trillian can
yeah, I
relate.
can.
With you.
Yeah,
He can
I
relate.
style my beard too. You know, fuck
You
you.
know, reverse hair.
Well, good thing I don't have the cam on because I look like
He's black. Don't worry.
1890s slave. Goddamn it.
I think all of us do. Nobody's taking care of themselves because why would you? You're home.
Goddamn.
Yeah, but I
Okay,
still
it's-
got to leave the house. Not that I even interact with customers because Geek Squad isn't doing anything right now.
But you still have to, at least there's somebody to look forward to, you know, or to look good to. You know, you have to look good to your boss.
You
have to
know,
look good.
a certain level of professionalism.
Yeah, yes, pretty much. That's why you do it. That's why you do it. Yes.
So you know,
No, but let's jump into the one topic that I have, and let's see how much I can milk it for time. All right.
okay.
We're not gonna wait for Hamod.
If he shows, he shows. He can show up.
Hamad,
Yes.
So it goes like this. So in the U.S. and the Arab, you should know this. The Republicans have like skipped vacation to like pass a bill, a Corona relief bill that basically pays every U.S. citizen
yep, the
1,000.
Democrats blocked it.
Yeah, the Democrats came out of their vacation and just blocked it, and their excuse is, "Oh, the corporations are going to abuse this law and make a ton of money," and that's why they
How?
blocked people from
Wait,
having.
how?
And you people vote for Democrat.
What do you mean, you people? No, I'm just kidding.
You people, you're American.
No, like
So you people-
have the Democrats lost all credibility? That's the real question here.
Ah.
'Cause
they have for a while. The people who still vote for them vote more so out of habit.
No, it's okay. Arab's gone. No,
Yeah, so you have the floor. Go ahead.
I'm back.
Yeah, yeah,
People don't knock in this house.
yeah.
That's how you
rude, I
lock
know.
your door.
Nope. Doesn't work
That's
that
besides
way.
the point. Democrats, go on. Tell us.
So
us why
the
people
people who mainly vote for them vote out of habit. But I think this year's election especially has really enlightened Democrat loyalists to what's really going on. And a lot of people who usually vote Democrat aren't voting Democrat anymore. Because it's just been decades of voting for the Democratic Party for nothing in return, just because they feel like they owe the Democratic Party their vote.
Well, but here's the thing: you vote for the people who cover your interests, right? And at this
Well,
point, it seems-
you can think of voting as a business transaction. You know, it's
right. Go
you
on.
know, why would you enter a business deal when there's nothing in it for you? Why would you buy something that doesn't have value?
And that's what the Democrats have been for a while. Right?
I mean, this is capitalism, right? You know, think of it as capitalism, a business transaction.
What about you, Mousa? What do you think?
What do I think about the?
About people not being paid for the Corona thing?
It's dumb.
I mean, I still have
I mean-
a job, so it's mainly jobless people that are going to be upset.
And a lot of people
Democrat-
are right now.
I mean, Democrats they've been salty since
The
the
big thing-
American Civil War.
Hello, guys.
So
The big thing people are getting upset about is still having to pay rent and their jobs not paying them because their jobs are closing. Like a lot of landlords are still expecting rent despite what the government says. So there's probably going to be a lot of evictions these next couple months too.
The next Great Depression, huh?
hmm It's
Or
always
is
the
it gonna be-
20s. It's always the 20s.
Right?
No.
Yes.
So,
Alhamdulillah.
so you guys expecting another like
History
2008
repeats
August?
itself. We're expecting the 1920s.
Yeah,
We're
Hamod,
gonna-
what
so
do you
the-
think about this?
We're gonna get another Al
subject
Capone
of,
because they're gonna ban
rent?
something.
No. Let me give you context. What is it? The Democrats blocked a bill that the Republicans made during their vacation to give relief for the coronavirus to the U.S. people.
Basically,
$1,200.
$1,000 check per person,
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep. And
per adult working person.
and they blocked it because they think the corporations are going to benefit from it.
The pharmaceuticals.
That's
Even if the corporation benefited from it, you'd benefit all the people.
no. Here's socialism, Hamud. If nobody gets to be rich, okay. Even if I get richer because you're richer than me, nobody gets to be rich. If you're richer than me, then fuck you and you should die. The billionaire.
Oh,
Is there a link for this?
Here's the perfect
find
way
you
to
one.
here's the perfect way to describe socialism. Look at any charity or foundation. You donate your money, and like 50% of it goes to maintaining the fundraiser. Like a fourth of it goes to the people who actually work in the fundraiser, and then the rest of it, whatever pennies are left, actually go to the cause. That's socialism.
It's again, as the great Margaret Thatcher said, the problem with socialism is that you eventually run out of other people's money. But
The problem with socialism is that Bernie's going to get all the money.
no, dude, Joe Biden has disappeared, right? So my prediction is Joe
He has
Biden
coronavirus.
he has coronavirus. He's gonna die, right? And Bernie suddenly will become the candidate. That's my
Nah.
prediction.
no, my prediction, he's just got an Alzheimer and he forgot that he's running.
No,
forgot he's
bro,
running.
probably not.
Imagine that.
How old is Bernie again? I just want to know.
Um,
200?
Bernie I think he
He looks
reached
60
the
something.
no he's like 80, 87 or something. I don't know. Like Trump is young and Trump is like 70, right?
Okay.
He's the youngest candidate of the three. so-
Okay.
Yep.
And they're all old white men.
Oh yeah, Elizabeth Warren, when she quit the fucking campaign, like she said,
Pocahontas.
I'm sorry to every girl out there. Yeah, Pocahontas. I'm sorry to every girl out there that again the fate of the U.S. is between two what was it? Two old white men. I'm really sorry. I'm like,
just notice, like it's so primal, like it's in the very nature to avoid responsibility and accountability. Oh yes, it's those two evil white men. That's why you lost.
yes, it's because people can't change yet. Like it's disappointing. The U.S. election process. I can't believe they actually did not give Tulsi and Yang a chance. The
Well,
Democrats.
Andrew Yang gave his what is it, nomination to Joe Biden of all people. So it's like all credibility is gone.
Well, that's what Bernie did last time, right? When he endorsed Hillary. It's the same thing.
Yeah, it's
It's Orange Man bad. It's very simple. Like,
Orange
anybody is
Man
better
bad.
than Trump. Yeah, anything is better than Trump. So yeah, they're gonna take Sleepy Joe.
which couldn't be any further from the truth.
Yeah, dude,
I
he's been
guarantee
alright.
you. I guarantee you, if we had anyone from the Democratic Party, it'd probably be worse than Trump.
Yeah. If you had Hillary, you guys would be at war right now. I don't know with who, but you guys would be at war right now. Most likely Iran. Like she was eyeing Iran, so like salivating. She wanted that war.
No, I think probably North Korea.
Oh yeah,
Start
North
from
Korea.
there. Yep. People tend to forget the historic moment of what Trump did to North Korea.
Yeah,
the historic piece,
Yeah, man.
which I don't understand
It's
why
crazy
people are
how
not.
it started. It was with Dennis Rodman. It was just,
yeah, just
enjoying basketball, and then it evolved into diplomacy because he's friends with Trump too. It's funny how all these
Yep.
things that seem unrelated to each other
Yep.
eventually just come together to form something.
actually funny enough. That's one thing about the Republicans that they will always beat the Democrats in, right? They're willing to listen to you. Maybe they don't agree with you. Maybe they have bad policy positions. Maybe they have bad corporate positions. But if you talk to them, they'll talk back, right? And they'll listen to you. You go to the Democrats, and if you want support, like if you want to start diplomacy with North Korea, they tell you a bigot and to fuck off, you know?
Oh yeah, they'll condescending and rude and
Yep, that's pretty much how
People
it
need to
goes.
change. Yeah.
No, it's not people need to change. People need to get their head out of their ass and remember that they're with other people. That's what that
No, I'm
know,
just
it's-
quoting the
it's-
Democrats.
what do you call it? It's an echo chamber. You know, like you open this and you click, an echo comes out. You know,
it's a
You know, it's a problem. It's a big problem when like 100 people share the exact same opinion and they stay in the exact same place. That's what you call like an echo chamber.
That's called brainwashing.
And yeah,
I have a book over here exactly detailing the problems with all this. Actually, let me just show it for the hell of it.
that's. I'll continue when he gets back, but just to kind of.
okay.
I can hear you. I have headphones.
Oh yeah, headphones. There is something I read back in high school about how people create their own. People create their.
The gulag.
The Gulag Archipelago by Alexander Solzhenitsyn. This is one of my the things I plan to finish by this by the end of this vacation.
But basically, what I was saying was, it's people subconsciously create their own echo chambers, digital echo chambers on social media, based on what they see on their news feeds, because they see what their friends post and the news articles their friends share, and then they accept it as truth, even though it's created to subconsciously tailor to them because it's friends they chose and this, and so whatever they're being shown is stuff that is being shown to them by people they've deemed as agreeable or like similar to them.
Actually, you're
Digital
describing
echo chamber.
the political subreddits on Reddit. This is exactly the same
No,
thing.
it's not just that. It's the news feed on Twitter, Facebook, whatever you use.
Yeah, it's the same. Twitter, Instagram, when you follow the same people.
Actually, that reminds me of like a Big Five study they did, which is that generally your political stance is mostly can be easily predicted by your Big Five personality score. So if you have a certain score there, you're more likely to be a Republican, and the other you're more likely to be Democrat or more leaning towards leftist ideology. And the most interesting thing, what they found out is that you guys cannot agree on what's right. So it's like somebody debating in French while the other is debating in Italian, and both people try to talk to each other, but they have different languages. So they use like sign language to try to get the point across. And nobody gets the other person's position, and they think the other person is
Lost
frankly
in
dumb.
translation.
Yep, and that's why most Democrats are like, Trump is so dumb, or Republicans are always so dumb, and the Republicans are like, these Democrat hipsters, because they cannot see the other point of view. It's very hard to actually see the other point of view and actually give it weight.
Yeah, but can you necessarily correlate a party to a specific ideology? Because you could have like a conservative Democrat and a liberal Republican and everything in between, etc. So I guess maybe like generally speaking, if you're talking about like what the average Republican or average Democrat is, but even necessarily, I don't know if you can necessarily use parties to illustrate like actual ideologies and their history.
Well, you guys have any input? Like you three have been looking at us like we were only talking. Come on, you three people, come on.
I have no comment.
You can be like,
I don't have
yeah,
anything to say.
have
Like,
common
just
sense.
yeah.
no,
Trillian,
again,
check out the
to
comments real fast.
Democratic
What
Republic.
yes,
comment?
yes.
Yeah.
We have people asking about Louis. Louis disappeared from the internet. That's
Coronavirus?
what.
Coronavirus.
It could be the coronavirus, but it happened a while back. So you
He
guys
got
in
lost
the
in the
US,
woods.
yeah, he got lost in translation. We don't know where he went. Okay, he just you guys can take a look. I have no idea where he is.
Leave it for Reddit.
Can I
for
invite some
video.
people?
We have one more spot left, and it's already busy. So let's
right.
wait a bit. Let's wait a
Post the
bit.
link.
Okay.
Like, okay, well, here's the thing. Have you guys had this case where you talk to people and you found out that they are not trying to find common ground? They don't see eye to eye, and there's no way to change that? Have you
Emotional.
guys reached
Oh, it's everywhere. Like
Yep.
they lock themselves into one specific view, and they're not willing to change it, or at least listen to you. They'll just give you a rude reply, and that's pretty much it. They're
I
everywhere.
had that experience before, and I call them females. Same exact mentality, hard to change, hard to deal with, but you live with it
Actually,
somehow.
it's the main reason females are so hard to debate is if they ever care about topics like these, they're usually if they lose an argument to you, that means they're less than you and you're a man, so they can't do that. So they have a duty to stay right no matter what. Even if they think you're right, even if you convince them, they still have a duty to their female gender to actually prove you wrong.
Happy wife, happy life.
No less than a man.
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, tell me, guys, why people in Egypt are protesting Corona?
Again?
They're,
Oh.
Protesting
They're-
Corona.
yeah,
Okay,
they're
wait,
looking
yeah.
for the people who made Corona.
in Egypt.
Yes.
You gotta love the fucking Egyptians.
Are you
gotta
sure?
love them.
Are
No,
you
this
sure
is
they're
real, this is real.
protesting about the corona? Or
Yes,
is it
yeah.
more
Let's start with us.
protesting
Well, the
because of
Chinese,
curfew?
the Chinese have already said that U.S. soldiers gave China corona.
Of
So
course they do.
it's all out there now.
Of course.
It's all out
Of
there.
course.
No,
It's not the bad.
It must be. No, it must be legit. Iran also back it up. So
Of course.
they also said it's the U.S. So
Just waiting for
to
Russia to
avoid-
chime in as well.
Yeah.
Dude, like, to me, like, has anything ever came out of South America besides cocaine? You know, like, why is no conspiracy involving South America? That's something that pisses me off.
They're busy killing each other.
They-
Dude, it's
basically-
never
True.
like Brazil did it.
It's
It's not like
basically glorified hood, or ghetto. Or,
Soccer
Trump.
players.
Yeah, the soccer players. That's the only thing. Next thing that I can like think about in South America. They're crazy on soccer there. I don't know why.
Like, no, I don't know. I don't get it. Again, like, Africa and South America. There's never something going on there. Like, there's never a crisis. There's never like something world threatening. Something like, where are you guys? You guys are like as big as Europe. You know.
they're busy killing each other, aren't they?
Well,
They're
yeah,
busy.
but even like, fair enough, but still, like,
Like with
Okay,
South
wait.
America, you got the banana companies. It destroyed them.
oh yeah, the Banana Republics, yes.
And Africa, you got the natural resources. And
Oh yeah,
Europe,
actually, China's all over Africa right now,
right?
Yeah, they're building bridges and putting them into debt.
putting them in
Well,
a
what's-
debt.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's that
They
country?
actually have the like Chinese military and Chinese police stations in African countries.
And they didn't get Corona because. Oh wait,
Oh.
Madagascar got it. No, never mind. Madagascar got one. I remember.
Really?
You know the problem. You know what the problem with China?
Yep.
The problem with China is that they're trying to do what Europe did over hundreds of years in only the span of a few decades. And the problem with that is you're gonna get caught easily.
They call that the 5-year plan. Again, it's another socialist, it's another communist concept, which is trying to accelerate things. They accelerate human suffering, and because you accelerate human suffering, you also go through time periods faster.
Oh,
Time travel.
Yeah, that's time travel, communist style.
Time travel.
Look at Russia now; they're fairly modern, right? Why do you think it happened? The 5-year plans.
the 5-year plan. The work of the people.
Trade
Dude,
people for time.
No, dude, I still can't like. Who made the borders in Africa, and how can I shoot them?
It's basically European countries fighting over who gets what.
Yeah, I
Yep.
know. Scramble for Africa. I know. Everybody scrambled for it. Everybody took a piece,
That's
and
how
then
the
when they.
borders got created.
My
It's,
favorite thing is of course like it's the same thing in Arabia, right? Africa and the Middle East have like a union of sorts where all the countries we have our own personal EU. Like the Africans have their EU, the Arabs have their EU, and they do jack shit with it. Like no trade, no nothing. It's just-
Gaddafi was actually trying to do
I've-
something with his, but then Hillary got him killed.
yes. Poor Gaddafi, man.
He was trying to make the currency based on gold.
Yep.
Actual gold, yeah.
And they literally fucked him to death.
With a knife.
No, the funny thing is, Libya tried to go all French on him, right? And
I
they
remember
forgot they
when-
were Arabs, not French, so they got even more fucked than the French.
I remember when it was happening on the news when Gaddafi, the whole Gaddafi situation, and and I remember my dad would say things like, "Oh, Gaddafi's evil. He's killing his own people." I don't know. Do Arabs have a certain opinion of Gaddafi?
Um,
Actually,
Well,
I
from what
actually
I've
think-
heard right now, they want him back.
from what I've
after
heard
all-
too. I mean,
What do you mean want him back?
Yeah, I
he's
know,
dead.
but
Yeah,
right
but
now they're
he-
praising him.
What is this flip flopping?
no, guys, do tell. What is your opinion about Gaddafi?
Well, I haven't researched the topic, but from what I've heard, he's the only person in Libya that tried to do something worthwhile for Libya, but the people turned on him. But I also heard that he was a bit, let's say,
Eccentric.
he abuses his own people. That's pretty much it. The tyrant.
It's,
no,
It's true that-
isn't North Africa like a big mix of a bunch of different people?
Yep,
Like there's
yeah,
Africans
there's-
and
yeah.
Arabs and Europeans.
Maybe
Like-
that's one of the reasons why it's a big
No,
mix of people.
He
Was it like the Arab
Let's
population?
not get too chaotic, guys. One by one,
Yeah,
please.
yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Musa, go ahead. Do you want to say something?
Yeah, I'm just gonna address Arab money. Oh yeah, they're divided into I think 3 group, which is you have the black Libyans and you have the tribes, the Arab, the Tuareg, and then you have the Hadar, which we call them settled.
Foreigners?
Settled.
Just the city
what-
people.
That's
Yeah.
the city people, and that's the problem on Libya. Gaddafi managed to handle it by controlling 3 people through brutal force. But he did. He gave his people. I mean, he gave free water, which is what the water. What do you call it?
Zamzam?
Basically, in Libya, it's full of desert. People have access to water, but right now they're suffering. So yeah.
So basically, they killed him, and now they don't have
Yeah,
water.
he d-
They like
yeah,
him
he
because
was-
they gave us water.
Exactly.
he
yeah.
was brutal. He was brutal, but it was
But they
necessary.
had water.
Yeah, they had water. They had
They had
oil.
water.
They have
Alhamdulillah,
free
they had-
healthcare system. God damn
But
it!
here's the thing.
He was
Here's the
brutal,
thing.
but at least they had a country.
Tough
No, no,
love.
here's the
Tough
thing.
love.
That's the only way to rule an Arab nation.
Yep.
To give them tough love. That's what exactly what Hamod
Yeah,
did.
because
Because it's a bunch of sheep.
Because the tribes are like little kids, and they're just gonna keep fighting with each other.
Exactly, fighting over goats and camels. Your goat fucked my goat, so we rage war.
just like
That's-
this,
Yeah,
just like Saddam Hussein.
Your great grandfather looked at my great grandmother's ankles.
I mean, just
And a
just
thousand
like
men suffered.
No, here's my thing with Gaddafi, right? He was brutal. He murdered his own people. He kept his country under check. That's not what I care about.
That's
What I
Mao
care
too,
about
though. Look at how Mao turned around China.
no, fuck Mao. No, here's the thing. here's the thing. There were like like 10 years ago, there were 6 countries that didn't have a national bank. Okay, Libya was one of them. Iran is still one of them. Afghanistan was one of them. China is one of them. And look at the list of U.S. aggression. And mostly it comes with people who don't have a centralized national bank.
And why is that a problem for America?
If everybody has a national bank, then everybody is agreeing on the same economy, which is fiat money. And
So what
that
are people in those countries just doing trading, bartering old school? Like, hey, if you give me some bread, I'll give you a goat. This and that.
No, but I don't care. Ah,
Wait, why does
it's on
China
the
of all
chat.
countries not have a bank?
Chill.
what's that, Arab?
Why does China of all countries not have a bank?
Well, because they're communists, duh. They're against. They have certain economic zones that they do stuff with, and they use that to make money so they can survive in an increasingly capitalist world. But they cling on to their communist agenda and their communist utopia.
Yeah, well, the
So-
funny thing about America having a problem with people not having a centralized bank is that the Federal Reserve, if you look into it, isn't even really a centralized federal bank. It's owned by the Federal Reserve is collectively owned by 12 private corporations. So it's not even owned by the government, really.
Yeah, that's why they say.
It's fascinating to look into the Federal Reserve.
That's why they say like the dollar is backed by oil, not by any actual anything with an actual value.
Now,
Not
It's
to distract
interesting
what
with
you're saying.
no, it's interesting with Libya because we have another example in Libya and Brazil, right? What happened in Brazil is they had like Pedro, one good, and he was a monarch, and he was amazing. He took care of everybody, but people were so into democracy, right? They wanted democracy, not a fucking monarch, right? So they took him down, and the second they took him down, 2 weeks later, they're like, "Oh fuck, what have we done?" And yep, and
So they took him down not
Where's
because
the
he was
water?
bad, just principle.
Yeah, but it's the modern thinking, you know,
Yeah,
down
it's-
to the monarchs.
Dude, they
That was all
they
the
pulled a
monarchy.
Frenchie. They pulled a
Yep.
Frenchie. You know, when will people learn that Britain got it right? You know, keep your monarchies, people. If you have a
Even though
monarchy,
they don't,
fucking keep it.
And that's
even
why
though the queen doesn't.
Why keep a
Yeah.
monarchy?
Because if you
the
started with a
symbol of-
monarch, it's a symbol of your nation,
Yep, it's a symbol of your nation.
dude. Think of it like this, right? And you guys can put your own take on this, but
Well,
think
they
of it
have
like
a
this.
parliament. They keep the monarch for like their symbol in history, but it's not really like much to do with proceedings. But they
That's
still
exactly with the UK.
It does though, because the monarchy is a political tool that you can use. That's why the Queen comes out on TV every Christmas and talks, and people watch it. It keeps people like when they see him, like they are like. Here's my theory, right? The royalty was the actual celebrities, and when the U.S. broke off from the British, they no longer had a monarchy, so they no longer had like celebrities.
Hollywood.
And so they built Hollywood. And Hollywood, why do people keep up with the Kardashians? They miss the monarchy. They miss that symbol that they can look at and critique and or be like or consume, and everybody knows who they are. They want that, but they
But
can't.
why?
so they
Why
go
the
for-
Kardashians of all people? Why not just watch the good movies?
Um,
Is it just because they're famous for being famous?
Yes, I mean a lot of them are. Some of them are famous because they did one good movie, Arnold or something. A lot of
Arnold
people
has
like
a lot of good movies, man. Not to distract.
Yeah, what's
That's
your mouth?
besides the
Yeah.
point. Yeah, I'm
I'll
sorry.
give you
I'll
one after the stream. I'll give you one
Fine.
after the
Will Smith. Fine.
Okay.
The good the good example of a symbol of your nation is Japan, which they still
Their
have
emperor?
they still have the
The
emperor,
emperor,
but
yeah.
he doesn't have any power, but yet he's still there, and people still, what they call it, pay respect
to
to
him?
the
The
emperor.
shogun.
Yep,
It's
like
good.
Julian,
Yeah,
like Julian said.
I think Denmark still has their royalty, or Spain, or some people, and they don't rule. They just are there, and that's good enough because you're keeping your culture. The French killed their culture, and then they had Napoleon, and then they had Napoleon III. Like, what the fuck? Why do you think they had that? Twice in one century, they had two dictators. After
they're
their
right.
monarchy. It has a certain degree of
What's the
stability. The
difference
monarchy.
between a monarchy and a dictatorship?
Dictatorship has no legitimacy. Simple military force.
What gives the monarchy legitimacy?
Tradition and arguably a decree from God. So something above you, right? It has its power, even if the power is symbolic. It still has some power. I encourage all of you to watch a show on Netflix. It's called The Crown, and it shows you the beginning of the reigns of Elizabeth II, all the way up to I think they're all going all the way up to modern times. I watched it, and I was pretty much captivated by just looking at the politics and how the monarchy handled it. There's a lot of fiction in it, but it's still it's based on true events, and you can see its progression, and you kind of start to relate why the English got such a stable system. Because of their monarchy generally. And the next season is going to be Margaret Thatcher. So everybody is obliged to actually watch it. And season 1 has Winston Churchill, and that makes you obliged to watch it. Okay.
We will.
Okay. We'll
It's
finish it
pretty
in
boring
5
initially.
days in the quarantine.
Yeah, we so yeah, it's again, that's why I appreciate if you have a monarchy, keep it. It doesn't have to hold power.
Is that is that why the U.S. government has a president? Like, even though the president really maybe doesn't have that much power, all things considered, it's still a symbol. The president.
Yes. And that's why the presidents kind of have the same or a good amount of characteristics joined together. Charismatic, kind of manly and macho. Teddy Roosevelt and all that. And the only bald president that was elected was running against another bald person. There's a huge bias against bald people, for example, in the U.S. election, right?
It's considered old.
Yeah, it's a symbol, right? So when people want that's why a lot of people are struggling with electing a different looking president in, because the tradition wants a president that kind of symbolizes the American idea and the American dream, and so they end up looking the same. You look at the list of presidents, and they all kind of look the same if you think about it. Not much difference.
So what you're saying is, for every nation, there has to be a symbol of, let's say, power, a president or a king that people need to look up to.
A symbol of royalty. A
And
symbol
that's why you don't want
to look at.
that's why you don't want Pocahontas for president.
Yes, dude, you never get Pocahontas as president. She's Native American, right? That kind of makes the point.
That's why I feel like if I ever was American, I'll have a hard time voting for a woman.
No, you vote for the right woman. Again, Margaret Thatcher in the UK, she earned her way up, and everybody bowed to her when she came into power, right? And nobody cared. That's the funny part. Nobody uses Margaret Thatcher as a feminist symbol because no one cared.
Because they didn't vote for her for being a woman.
Because they aren't political.
No, it's not. It's not even that. It's because, like, as it was said, her being female just was kind of a thing. It was a thing for banter. You want to tease her a bit, you call her a woman. But everybody's like, okay, she's the chief, she's the man in charge, right? Because that's what you need there. And in the U.S., they make it the fact that somebody's a woman, they make it a big deal, and that's why they'll not get elected. Because as long as
Because it's
one
not
of
based
your
on yours.
yeah, as long as your electability is based on whether you have a vagina or not, you're not gonna really convince people. What's your policy position? That's the most important part. I don't care what's between your legs, and nobody does except you guys. The whoever cares, the women's and the Warrens and all of these guys.
You're a feminist.
Okay, this needs to be addressed.
Thoughts
What?
on everything it's not surprising. I mean, the population of Indians are like 1.3 billion, so it's not
Do you want to
surprising.
know how it started? Do you want to know how it started? All those
How?
damn TikTok videos.
Yes.
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 The Indian Joker.
Yes, they're in
Dude.
God.
China may have made it, but India truly made it.
Indians are everywhere. They're probably on the moon right now, shitting at the moon. I don't know. Seriously. Everywhere. I tried to, when I went to the US, maybe 10% of the people there, they were Indians. Seriously.
Yeah, they
I
They're
have
a
a
migratory
story
tribe.
when I was a little kid.
No offense.
We used to live in apartments, and one thing that was always interesting about my building is that it always smelled bad around dinner time, and it was always from this certain apartment. And it's like we never interacted with them really, like we didn't know who they are. But like when we were just happening to pass by them and they were leaving for whatever reason and they opened the door, it was just like, oh, I knew it.
Again, not to hit certain cultures, but it's kind of true. Don't you agree, guys?
There's a little bit of truth to every stereotype about every group.
Some kind of evidence.
The real question is. The real question is, John Harlem, did you click? That's the real question.
Yeah, he's looking to the categories.
Yep. I mean,
Hey man, they have free premium right now because of the quarantine. I get it.
And if you did click, John, you need to rethink your taste. That's it.
No, the real question is, when you clicked, because we know you did you feel a certain smell creeping up your nose out of your phone?
They say, listen. The food. Here's what I'll say about the food. Like the smell, I'll never get it. But the taste is always there. The taste is always there, alhamdulillah. But it's just if you eat that kind of food on a consistent basis, the smell will start to get into your system, and then you'll start to smell like the food.
Oh yes.
Curry, huh?
Because you are what you eat.
Yeah. Yep, John Harlem called it too. There we go. No, but actually, that is an interesting thing, and it's sad that we don't have an Indian guy to answer it for us. But we have to theorize between each other. But there are two like parties in like India: the people who love their country and are super patriotic, and the people who hate it to its core, to the point that when they leave, they're like, "This is the best decision we've ever made." And I've never seen people hate their country so much leaving it, and I don't know why. Why do you think, guys, that is?
Well, because there's so much chaos over there right now. The Hindus and Muslims are fighting across the whole country. They're just killing each other. It's too violent.
Is it?
That's still a thing.
What do you mean? Yeah, it's been a thing.
If you're in the middle of India, if you're like in the middle here, you are not suffering this. But you still hate your country. People migrate from there and still hate their country, so it must be more than that.
Maybe because there's no.
I have a couple Indian people in
one
the
by one,
Facebook group.
one by one, A-RAB, one by one, please. Mousa, go on. We're gonna reach you again.
Okay.
Yeah, because what did I say? Because there's no one to hate anymore. I mean, back in time they were shitting on the Britain, which gave them the reason to what do they call it? Yeah, which yeah.
Yeah, go,
Go on.
okay,
I see. I
what
see
about you,
to
Sir
forget.
Fancy? Go on, Sir Fancy, go on.
What's that? I didn't say anything. What?
Why do you think the Indians hate their country so much? Like, what about it?
Because shit is everywhere. They're poor. They serve the food on the train tracks,
Oh,
and they got the Indian Joker, of course.
What's this Indian Joker?
Oh dear! Somebody
it's
look
a
it up.
good thing you don't know him. Just let me tell you.
Somebody link it in chat. Somebody link it in chat quickly. What
I
about
need
you?
to find him.
What about you? What
What?
do you think? What do you think? Why do they Indians hate their country?
Basically, the same reason why anybody from a third world country hates their own country. Like probably no job opportunities. Probably because they look at maybe Hollywood films and they think they're more free there. Maybe get the outside they'll have a much better chance at life. They want to escape the traditions. Probably. Same
actually,
goes for
traditions-
every third world country. Yeah, traditions. Yeah, escaping traditions. That's what I
Traditions
meant.
is interesting because India, India has a very specific thing that's shit, which is the caste system, right? And if you're in India, you obey the caste system, and you can't marry like something from an above caste, and if you marry something from a below class, you're a piece of shit, you know. And that's still prevalent in the culture. The government is fighting against it, but that's still prevalent in the country.
It surprises me that it's still prevalent.
It's
Really?
because you have a lot of farmers still, you know. You don't have liberals in India, or at least not to that degree. They tried to be communist for a bit of their lives, and that kind of failed when the Soviet Union fell. But you know, like again, it's just stuck in the culture. But here's the interesting part, right? I personally think when the British left, they missed them. That's
which is what I was gonna.
Well, yeah, of course. Look at India 2.0.
Two.
UK.
Which one is India 2.0?
That's why
Pre-Britain
they-
or after Britain?
that's why they leave all the time to it, right?
Oh yeah, they try so hard to fix their accent. They try so hard to live within the culture and their communities. They're
And if
Indians.
if they don't, they start grooming kids. Oh wait, that's Pakistan. Never mind. It's the same thing. Oh, if an Indian hears me say that, I will be shot.
Do they even have any in Kuwait?
Oh, dude, we have
Dude, like they might 50% of the population.
half of our immigrant population, if not more, are Indians, and the other half is Egyptian. You know, like there are more of them than there are us.
So
maybe
basically, if they
20
collectively said "fuck it,"
So-
Kuwait is no
We're
more.
fucked. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
fucked. Yeah.
So yeah, so you can say we're the minorities in our own
Yes,
country.
In our
we're
own
a
country.
Yes, so the UK is slowly turning into Kuwait right now. You know, that's what's happening right now. Europe is slowly turning to Kuwait. Eventually, their own historians are going to come to our country to learn how to live with the new peoples.
Make a kafala system.
Yeah, just make a system.
Make
Imagine
slave
Europe.
system. That's exactly what the kafala
Imagine
is.
Europe. Imagine Europe with the kafala system.
Oh, it doesn't work.
Is there a name
Wow.
for it in English?
Again,
Is there a name for it in English? The system? So,
Kafala system?
yeah.
I
What's
don't
the
think so.
sum?
No, I don't think so.
Basically, if you want to jump in as an immigrant in Kuwait, you need a sponsor, you know, patron to bring you in. And anything that happens to you is also accountable to the patron, and he can kick you out whenever. So even if you want to show up as a big company, you still have to be patronized by one of the biggies here. So one of the companies, like one of the great families, like Al-Ghanem or something, would have to patronize you so you can make money here, and you have to give them a cut. For that patronage. So it's a very, very bad model for business, but it's very profitable for our big guys. So I don't know.
That's why they keep it.
Yeah, that's why they keep it. All these billionaires, you know. Uh, Now, here is an interesting thought, right? Um, Financial crisis is coming, according to a lot of people, right? Like 2008 level of a financial crisis. My question is, who's gonna come out of it this time? You know, will the economy shift?
The toilet paper companies are going to be huge.
Actually, no, because here's the thing: everybody bought the toilet paper, and they bought too much. So what happens with that is that if you bring new toilet paper doesn't go bad. So even if they buy a ton of it, that's you've just took money from the future. So toilet paper just won't. Again, the toilet paper companies like don't know what to do right now because again, it's not a finite resource, it's not food, it's not gonna keep coming. People are not gonna keep needing toilet paper.
I think travel is going to be big because people are going to be so sick of being stuck in quarantine that everyone's going to go travel, take vacation, drive, etc. So gas, tickets, whatever vacation stuff, going to be big when this
Exactly.
goes.
Yeah,
Vacation stuff.
but what like let's be more specific. Which countries will thrive after this economic crisis, and which countries will collapse or at least
The Middle
like,
East
take a back seat?
because oil and gas for travel.
Greece will collapse finally.
Greece already collapsed. Like, what I'm interested in with Greece is what happens when you know the migrant caravan, the invasion army gets corona. What happens then? You know, do we get a modern case studying a plague in an army? You know, is that what's going to happen? We're going to have
I hope they either break down or surrender to the countries that's next to them. Just
they can't.
join.
Nobody wants them. Turkey doesn't want them. Okay. Greece doesn't want them. Bulgaria doesn't want them. There are 10,000 migrants just stuck between borders, right? And corona is prevalent. They chose the worst fucking time.
And they're the most vulnerable.
Yeah, right.
You can't bring them in. You can't bring them back, and they're just stuck here. Will they start a Kurdistan? Will there be another Kurdistan between Turkey and Greece?
Kurdistan in the middle of Europe?
Yeah.
Dude, will another crusade come out? You know, the Balkan Crusaders are back together, right? They're all banding together against this migrant crisis. Like, what's gonna happen? Are they gonna start a crusade again? You know, will we get to another Vlad the Impaler thing happening? You know, they impale all the Turkish immigrants along the border and just freak out the fucking Turks. Dude, in my opinion, they should have shot him. They should have shot him day one. Nobody would have done anything after that. Just shoot the migrants.
But they did push them away, right? They didn't receive any migrant.
They didn't. They managed to keep them away, and they're going to keep keeping them away. But it is tension. It is a lot of money being wasted. And Erdogan is saying like my money, please. You know, it's so odd. It's so fucking odd.
But it's
Europe
stopped
right
for now, right? Like the corona thing.
What do you mean it stopped?
No, I mean like since the corona thing happened.
I have no idea. I haven't.
Yeah,
I haven't been keeping up.
Yeah.
I know they didn't take.
What's stopping them? What's stopping them from Corona? I mean,
oh, it's just a thought. It's just a thought. Yeah.
Did they stop invading? Dude, the only way out of Corona is forward or backward. You know,
if it does make sense, Turkey is actually losing because they have to take back their refugees.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
they won't.
that makes sense.
Again, and they won't. Both guns are pointed. You know, and
Go there. Yeah.
That's why I hold strong Greece. And for the first time, I respect Greece.
That's why you don't go on a cruise ship, you fucking dumbass. Whoever your friend's sister is. You don't go on a cruise. That's the worst thing you can ever do. Jesus.
What the hell was that?
Yeah, but personally, again, to go back to the topic, I don't think the oil companies are gonna thrive, mainly because oil prices are down so low right now that
7%.
when things go up, they're just gonna spend a lot of time recovering from the losses they made.
So who do you think is going to make it big?
Yeah.
Any country that focused on local production and industrialize their delivery services. Those are the ones who are gonna.
So Amazon, stuff like that.
Yeah, Amazon will thrive in this crisis. Things like there's a good chance Disney Plus can utilize this very well.
Oh yeah, streaming
play the
digital
culture.
services.
Yeah, if they put
Wait.
Black Widow, on Disney Plus right now as a streamed movie, I bet a lot of people are going to switch to digital, and a lot of people will keep watching Disney Plus after.
Didn't like all the digital content like they're already thriving right now?
Yes, but
Yeah,
again, I'm talking who's going to benefit the most, right? And Netflix is already like their
Yeah.
sales are way up. Video games loving this
Loving it.
fucking crisis.
Records breaking every second.
Every few seconds, right? Anybody who wants to thrive in online business, internet companies are gonna have a great time. But any country that focused on globalized production, so you take your T-shirt from China or something like that, those guys are the guys who are gonna lose a lot of money right now because nothing is working and everything is closed. And everything is has to be like peer reviewed 20 times and before anything. It's just a lot of fucking chaos, right?
So that means we'll be affected too, us in Kuwait.
Yeah, we are being affected. It's just that we're so rich that we can afford
Yeah,
it.
of course. That's why basically His Highness is giving us a handout to fix up the economy for
Yep.
people to buy stuff for
Yep,
the
the
rich
general
to get richer
yeah.
and our stocks to get higher.
It is a good
The
decision,
good
right?
thing about you guys is you don't have a Democratic Party to block out your handout.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
that's one thing about having a monarch that's awesome is that the parliament is a bit. It's
No
just-
morons to block out any
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
no,
the
decisions.
our parliament is an embarrassment. Okay, so generally speaking, it's good that the monarch has some degree of power here. Dude, did they throw shoes again? Did they do that again? Did they throw shoes at somebody last time, like a while back? Like every year somebody has to throw a shoe.
Basically, we have this diplomatic system just so we can say that we have something to our friends in the UN and not embarrass ourselves.
We have some diplomacy in our country.
Yeah, we negotiate, but all the ministers are hired by the monarch. Like
They're all
Honestly-
useless.
honestly, it's a good thing because if you leave people in charge of our country, it's gonna get fucked real quick. It's gonna Venezuela out of control.
It's kind of Africa out of control.
It's because again, everybody can be elected on the premise of more stuff for you guys, and that's exactly what got Venezuela fucked. They kept
Socialism?
getting, they kept, like more stuff for you guys, more stuff for you guys. You get a T-shirt and you get a T-shirt. Here's a Gucci, and then next thing their fancy T-shirts are ripped out, and everybody's poor and barely looking for food and water because the oil prices dropped 5%. Like that's Venezuela. It's ridiculous. I swear that's exactly how it happened. They spent so much on welfare and so much on social policies that they didn't save up money for a financial drop. They thought the oil was going to keep them forever. They didn't invest in business. They didn't pull a Dubai where like, oh, what happens when the oil runs out or goes low? Let's focus on tourism. They didn't do that. They didn't pull a Kuwait where they invest in every country that they can find and hope for the best. No. All they did was just give people more money. Sell oil, give money. Sell oil, give money.
That's socialism for you.
Same thing for Greece, by the way. Greece spent so much on welfare and so much on their healthcare specifically that basically when their hospitals could no longer they don't have the military or the medical staff rather to help people, they companies to be part of the welfare program. That's how much they spent. And next thing you know 2008 crisis hits and they have no money to spend to come back, no money to give the people to regurgitate the economy. Like just Sir Fancy said, that's what you do. When prices go down, you increase spending and you decrease taxation, right? They couldn't do that because they didn't have any money. Same thing with Venezuela. They couldn't do that. They didn't have any money. Economic crisis. That's what's going to happen in Kuwait. And yeah,
that which is given has no value.
Arguable. If you give somebody a gift, they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna treasure it forever."
Uh,
It's true though. No.
It is. It is.
Socialism is good as like a seasoning to a steak of capitalism. Okay, that's how it should be. Just a little bit. You just pepper it. Like Trump did. It's like 1,000 to every citizen because of the crisis. Here you go.
Here's $1,000 if something bad happens.
Yeah, because we want to help you out, guys. It's a tough place. We have certain healthcare systems, but something
But
as
from
big
where would he
as
take the money?
taxes.
We all know
No.
that taxes. No,
Taxes and
they should
business.
take it.
I
From
better
the
get a
military
$1,000 check. I need
Again,
tax
fancy what?
dollars.
funding. They should take it out from the military funding.
Oh no,
We
no, no,
have
no,
a
no.
lot of excess military funding.
No, dude. If they reduce military funding by 1%, China wins. Okay, and Russia suddenly becomes the biggest threat in the world. Be careful. Okay, be careful. They already hacked the election. Okay, they already hacked the election. They already hacked the election. Be careful. Anything can happen. All right. No, what the U.S. should do is decrease military spending by 1%. That's all they should do. And they have so much money, they can grow their economy 3 times over.
Or they can just print their own money, since they always print.
If you want to make it in America, join the military. Free college, but
Yeah, but nobody hires you. What's the point?
I don't get it. It's not like Kuwait.
No, nobody hires you because you're ex-military. You have PTSD,
That's Kuwait. It's different in America. In America,
No, in
you're
Kuwait you don't get
expected-
PTSD. You just get trashed on for being a fucking dumbass. That's what it is. I got always my very deep respect to military personnel, but you guys ain't shit. All right, in Kuwait, you guys are just a puppet army. If any army invades, you guys are gonna run away. All right. With all due respect,
But
you
what
don't
about
have-
the 2 tanks that we have? The 3 jets
and the
and the 1
three
missile
cruise
that
ships.
no one know how to operate.
Dude, I want nuclear launch codes to see if people just launch it by mistake. See, that's why Kuwait pretends to be a pacifist country. You're like, we're so pacifist because, of course, you are.
We're
What else
this
are you gonna do? What else are you gonna do? We're
Hey,
pacifists.
we got our big brothers, Americans, and the UKians.
Yeah, dude, we're like a whore, okay? We're in dips with the UK, with Russia, with China, with the US. Everybody's getting a piece,
And don't forget half of Africa.
and half of
Half
Africa.
of Africa, yeah.
We also like giving BJ's to poor countries. You go to growing countries like the Philippines and just poke out hospitals there, so people, whenever a Kuwaiti comes there, they're like, Kuwaiti, haba, hey, haba,
Basically, we funded maybe I would say we funded 40% of the world mercenaries.
Yep, just we help out. We're good people. Kuwaitis are chill. We have a strategy which is nobody will invade you again if everybody loves you. So everybody take our money.
What else can we do? What else can we do?
So who's Kuwaiti's pimp then?
We're our own pimp.
Oh,
No, that's not true.
We run the business.
No, it is Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia is part of the U.S. technically. So
Yeah, we are. It's a pimp under a pimp.
no. Saudi Arabia would be more like the bouncer.
Oh, fair enough.
And
Okay.
the person wanting to take over the business would be Iran. That's just the fucking. We're explaining geopolitics here, people. You guys, people who are studying geopolitics of the Middle East. All these international students that somehow had the bright idea to show up here. By all means, listen to this podcast and you'll know everything. Okay.
Oh,
Middle East politics and whore talk.
Yeah. Yep. I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing. What do you guys think?
What would be
What?
the uncut version? What would be the uncut version?
God, virgin.
This.
Is this real?
It sounds like it. It sounds like Hollywood.
Disney. Sounds like
Yeah, it sounds like Disney. It sounds like them. Dude, I can't get over the fact that they made the Eternals and Marvel. Like, they made a huge movie, the Eternals. Everybody's hyped about it, and they're like, "We have a gay guy, a guy who can't hear, an Asian." And I'm like, "Are the guys like? And those guys are the same family? Like, what is this?" You know, like,
It's all
and
about
they live
realism, man. It's all about realism.
And no. Here's the thing. I remember they put an interview with one of the gay actors who did the gay kiss scene, and it's like it felt so emotional and so like I'm like what kiss scene is emotional, you piece of shit. You know, you practice. You know,
They're being brave.
yeah, they're being so
So brave.
they're being so. Disney. I don't get Disney, man.
Whenever
Like,
I think about people doing like stupid things and they try to call it like brave or courageous, I always think about that one Apple conference where they were talking about why they don't have the headphone jacks on their phones anymore, and the guy on the stage was like, "It's very simple. Courage." It's just
It's very
stupid.
simple. We're idiots. Yeah. It's very simple.
It's very simple. Just want you to pay $20 more for the headphone jack.
It's all about progress. The future is Type C, and that's why we don't have it in our iPhones.
They have it in the charging brick, just not the phone itself.
Yeah, just not the phone itself. What's the fucking phone?
USB Type C to Lightning? They're halfway there.
It's ridiculous. Dude, I have so many degrees of hate towards Apple. It's insane.
Don't we all?
No, dude, do you know why I hate them? Do you know originally why I hate them? The reason was so innocent. They in their iPhone, like I had an iPhone 5, if I remember. That's the last iPhone I had, and I think the first an iPhone 4, first iPhone and last iPhone, right? And they had like a really ancient look, like like your like when you type,
rectangle.
it feels like typewriter, like everything was kind of like woody and it felt ancient, and I like that. And then they switched up their interface and the next update, and they made it futuristic and and neat, and I despise them for it, and that's where the hate started.
You miss like the old digital keyboard where the keys like pop up.
Yes, I missed that, and then I switched to Samsung, and if I can customize whatever the fuck I want,
What I had an iPhone. What pissed me off was they didn't give you any chance to do anything you want with the phone. It's like it's there. It's like you're using it how they want you to use it. You don't have any freedom with the phone.
I can't put
I can't even
files
change
on
my
there.
ringtone back in the day.
Yeah, you
That's
can't.
why I hated
You
the
have
iPhone.
you have to use a cloud service to transfer data from the iCloud to a computer because you can't just drag files. You can't just drag files from the phone to the computer.
Yeah, but
Dude, every
this-
time I've used Apple, like I stopped using Apple, right? But my mother and father haven't, right? So occasionally they come to me for tech support, and I have to open up iTunes. And every time I fucking open iTunes, I want to kill something. Okay, iTunes is horrible. I fucking hate iTunes.
And it takes 5 years to open up. Like, how do people use it to play music?
No idea.
For
If
the low
anybody-
price of 99 cents for each song, you can have everything.
God bless Spotify, man. God bless Spotify.
And Apple also has this horrible habit of trying to encrypt every single thing they can. So, for example, at my job, we did a data transfer from an old iMac to an external hard drive so that they could view their photos on a new iMac. When you plug the external hard drive into their new computer and try to look at the photos, you cannot view the photos on the new computer by just clicking the folder. you can't just click the folder, open the folder, and view the pictures. It's encrypted, so you like have to go through like these weird settings and try to import everything into the Photos app, so the Photos app recognizes that it's stupid. If you're on Windows, you just double click, open the folder, boom, your stuff is there, done.
But Android is so complicated, man. There's so much stuff. I'm so scared to switch because I'm afraid that if the phone icon is different, I don't know where to go to phone, and I don't want to change, man.
This
so
is
difficult.
but this is what happens when you cater to the lowest common denominator instead of just saying fuck it.
And don't forget that, Max, don't get viruses. What the hell are you talking about? Windows.
Oh yeah, no, never.
All have viruses.
Never.
Yeah.
We had to check in so many Apple computers for a virus the past few months, because there's this huge Safari virus going around, and where it hacks Safari and it's encrypted into the hard drive, and people are like, "What's wrong with Safari? I thought Apple computers don't get viruses."
Yeah, you're dumb. That's why, dude. I love like just watching people who own Apple just suffer. Okay,
And you know what?
I like
you know what it is too. It's not the people who don't know that make me mad. It's the people who don't even try. It's like it's like you say one word they don't know. Oh my God, you're speaking a different language, and I am. Slow down.
I am iPhone dum. I can't do anything. You know, it's dude, I can't get over it. I can't get over it. Like my sister wanted to upgrade phone, and she was like, "Okay, I want Samsung, but I'm afraid I won't know anything." And I'm like, "You're an engineer. What do you mean you're afraid you don't know anything? You raised 2 kids, and you're afraid of a fucking phone transfer?"
You know what pisses me off?
Terrified of kids.
It's only Apple fans. It's only Apple fans.
Yep,
Every other
yep.
brand, every other company in existence, they don't have fans that have like that think like
Here's the
seriously.
thing. Here's the thing. Once you actually learn how to use it, you never go back, because once you learn how each thing works differently, once you learn how it's so much simpler than Apple.
Yep. When my mom switched phones,
Actually
she never
easier
went
than
back.
Apple.
Yep, my mom switched phones like to a Galaxy Note, and she never looked back. She's like, "Fuck Apple," and she doesn't even know anything about phones. She never used a computer in her life, and she still agrees. You know. Now it's just it's all about converting my dad. Now that's all it takes now.
It's super convenient. Apple is very complicated, and it's bad.
It's very systematic. It's like
Yep,
going to
and-
your nearest governmental institute.
Hmm.
Apple
like
is
you-
like
Apple's like using Internet Explorer. Okay.
yeah. Apple. Look, using iPhones is like living with your parents, and using an Android is like living on your own. Like seriously. Think about it.
never
Think about
been-
it. You don't have the freedom to do as much stuff on the iPhone.
Windows may not look as appealing as Apple, but it's simpler.
In my opinion, it looks
Straightforward.
more appealing. Do you know why? Because I can put a moving background, okay, if I so please, and I can customize the Windows 10 however I want to look the best I want it to look at. All I need is actual good, actual good hardware, which I can get cheaper than I would if I got a Mac. The fancy excuse is bullshit. You can customize it to look good. You just don't wanna. That's the only reason.
Hell, if you want, you can make your computer look like a Mac.
Yeah, you
If
can
you're
do
into
that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know why you would do that, but yeah, like PTSD, dude. I still remember like way back when the what's its name when Google Hangouts went down. Me and Louis were looking for like alternatives, right, on how to stream, and we figured OBS, right. And the reason I started streaming through OBS is because Louis, the bloody idiot, has a Mac. Right?
I was actually
OB
contemplating getting a MacBook Air, but then I realized I don't want to deal with it.
You're better off getting a Kindle, honestly. You know?
That's like the biggest insult. We're comparing Kindle to Mac.
I don't think I can make it. I can take a Mac seriously right now.
Dude, even their iPad, like, a lot of people, like, they had the learning pad, and my brother was interested in it, and then I just simply Google searched, and I found like 20 devices that are way better, as learning tablets.
Yeah, if you want like an actual tablet for like art or any productivity like that, you don't even get Android or Apple. You get like one of those professional tablets.
Yep, and
No,
they're pricey,
unfortunately,
but they're good.
professional tablets are not as good as the Apple tablet.
Really.
And I say that with a heavy heart because I have a tablet and I've tried the Android tablet and I've tried the regular one, and so far the superior one is Apple.
Is it? What makes it superior? What about it?
It's simply smooth. It's simply smooth. With the Android tablets, they do not pay any attention to details or give it any like actual work on it. So
Quality
it
of
doesn't
life
tur-
changes.
yeah, it doesn't turn out to be good. Yeah, we're waiting for the
If
new
I
one.
wanted a tablet, yeah, continue.
Yeah, that's it. We were just waiting
All right.
for Samsung to release something good.
Yeah,
They
well,
should.
the other thing too is the refresh rate. A lot of the Apple tablets have like the 90 hertz refresh rate, which is really
yeah.
smooth.
It looks smooth.
But a
Yeah.
lot of newer tablets are getting 90 hertz refresh rate. And
Maybe we
mean,
just need to wait for the tablet market to just.
Well,
Yeah,
I don't know, but
the only company in Android still making tablets really is Samsung.
Yeah.
well, I don't know about you, but like
they're the only one that can afford it.
this thingy with the thing feels really smooth. Is it just on the tablets or just even the phones?
No, just the tablets.
Just the tablets, huh?
The phones are fucking great,
Yeah.
but
I
the
think
tablets are shit.
the other thing about Android too
Right.
is that it all depends on the apps you're using as well. Because each Android has so many different manufacturers for the hardware, and then there's so much software available on the Play Store. You just have to dig deep enough till you get what works for you on Android.
But that's the problem. If I'm buying something from Samsung, it's
The,
already a
the,
big
the, the
ass
one thing about Apple I will say is good is just you can buy the one thing and jump right in because you know exactly what you're getting. You do have to do more research with Android. You do have to do the homework to get what works for you.
What's
The-
breaking
with the-
my
with the
heart
tablets,
is
I
that
agree with the
Samsung
tablets.
is not putting the effort. Like they are a big ass company and they can afford working with developers or whatnot when it comes to their tablet or their phone or
Yeah, I
whatever.
think people would rather just buy the big phone instead of a tablet too, though.
I think
I mean,
that's
like
what I
for
did.
That is
I think that the tablets, like the Android tablets, have recently like gone down because these new laptop
The
hybrids.
2-in-1s,
With,
I can't
yeah, the
stand
two-in-ones.
2-in-1.
I love them. Like this, for
I
example, the
hate
Surface Pro.
2-in-1s.
No, the Surface Pro, not the cheap ones.
The only thing the only thing if you get a 2-in-1, it has to be with detachable keyboard.
Yeah, exactly.
The
That's what.
2-in-1s that have the built-in keyboard just feel so weird in tablet mode.
No, dude. When I say they're great, I'm talking about the ones that can turn into a real tablet.
The one that you can actually take the keyboard off.
Yeah,
to
yeah,
make
exactly,
a legit
exactly.
tablet.
I've always looked at Surface Pro reviews. I might buy it. That's how good it is. Looks like it's really great.
the Surface and the Surface Pro. Huh?
If
What
I
do you
wanted a
think of,
tablet, I would get that.
what do you
You
think
got
of?
the tech guy.
The only thing I'm still thinking though is if I want to do Windows or Linux for my next laptop.
Linux.
Oh, you don't ask us. Well, I don't know shit about Linux.
Go with Linux. It's getting easier and easier. Yeah, a lot of people have worked on many different.
Because
systems
I know
and
like people
easily
like if they still want Windows stuff, they can just get like what is it, Wine compatibility alerts?
it's like literally one program away. It's one thing to install and you're good to go. It's
Really?
becoming
Like,
as easy as Windows right now. Right now, yep. So Linux all the way.
So Linux is a lot more accessible now than it used to be.
Yes.
So, like this wine software can run, enables you
Yeah,
to run this
basically
Windows
Wine.
software
Yep, Wine lets you run Windows programs on Linux.
as good as Windows.
Yeah.
does?
Well, as long as you have a higher end computer, because it's not emulation, but it's similar to emulation, where it requires a bit more power to run as it would on Windows. But if you have a high end computer, yeah, you can get Windows programs.
Well, can you launch like heavy applications? Let's say.
Yeah, games too. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. We're just
curious-
talking about Linux.
Yeah, Linux. I have no idea. I've never done my research on Linux. I just know that they give you the thing for free, and they give you the guide for money, and they look at you and it's like, "Good luck figuring that out, bitch." You know, that's all I know about Linux.
No, it's becoming more and more accessible.
That's good to hear. We need an alternative. It's always good to have multiple options, and Mac is not an option.
Nope.
And Windows is getting too comfortable too, because Windows, is still good, but there's a lot to hate about Windows 10 compared to 7.
And there's a lot to hate about 7 compared to XP, and the list goes on. Yeah,
I still miss XP.
I started with Vita, so I never really.
Oh,
lived with
Vista's
XP.
bad.
Oh, Vista. Right, there you
Vista's
go.
bad, yeah.
Vista's bad. XP
I never
or
noticed. I never
7 was-
noticed, right?
Because you
Vista's
never used
slow.
XP before.
He never experienced XP. Yeah.
Yep. But
XP is just classic childhood computer.
It is, right?
I don't know. Like, what about it that made it like better? Just out of curiosity, because I have no idea.
Simple.
For me, the background.
The background, the fact that it's so simple, it's
Sounds,
so fast.
the
There's no
power on, power off sounds.
Yeah. Everything about it is iconic and simple and fast, smooth. I never had any real problem with the XP apart from my shitty computer, but that's pretty much it. Like,
You think they should go back?
I just want a theme for Windows XP. Windows 10.
Well,
I
hey, you
wanna
could
look-
customize Windows. I'm sure you could get the sounds.
Probably.
Yeah, you can, but it's always nice to have like an official
Yeah, official.
copy of the theme.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah,
For the
like
higher
an official
quality.
option in the settings.
Yeah, for the higher quality. Yeah,
Yeah, I think Microsoft can afford that.
of
Oh,
course.
they
Microsoft.
can.
Well, they've done it before. I think with Windows 7, you can actually like official settings to make it look like what Windows 98 or something. Like,
Yeah.
you can change how Windows 7 looks.
But they removed it in 10.
Yeah.
Actually, here's a question for you: which of the big corporations, which of big tech, do you think rules the world? Here's a question for you guys.
Let's see.
Microsoft.
Microsoft.
It's
Okay,
gotta
you
be,
guys-
because not everyone uses Apple.
I would give it to Samsung.
But Samsung.
Yeah,
I
they have
always
like
think
they
they're
make
Microsoft.
all kinds of products, and they're everywhere.
Fridges and applications.
But here's the thing: if the Chinese situation happened to Korea, their phone will be fucked, and their factories will be fucked too.
But Korea doesn't really have any real enemies. Korea's
No, it
friends with
doesn't.
America.
It doesn't.
No, here's-
but like the idea is that nothing can fuck with America, and nothing can fuck with the.
I'm surprised nobody mentioned Google here.
Google.com.
I forgot. Yeah, Google. I would say Google.
Like,
For now.
because my answer would be Microsoft, but for different reasons. I think the only reason Microsoft wins is one particular software that the world runs on, which is
Office.
Microsoft Excel.
Yeah,
Microsoft
word.
Excel specifically. If Excel goes, if right now Microsoft decides to remove Excel from all its hardware, the entire world will collapse. It's bigger
Because-
than a nuclear holocaust.
yeah.
Okay.
Because let's be honest, no one really uses Google Sheets or like LibreOffice or those third-party options. You want
Yeah,
Office.
those exist,
Just
but
Excel,
nobody
yeah.
cares. Yeah, because dude, Excel, like I've used it, and every time I use it, I'm like, I hate you, but you are so important. You know, I don't want to deal with you, but you are the most convenient thing I've ever had. You know, I still remember during my college days, like every time I'm the guy who knows Excel, right? So people would, if I'm in any project, I'm the guy who makes the Excel sheets, and people look at me like I'm a magician because I make the equations in Excel, and to them, you know, I spent half an hour programming in Excel. And after I'm done, I'm like, okay, let's just plug in the values. And suddenly we have everything. And I've just saved us, 20 hours of doing proper math. And they look at me like I am a magician, right? But that's what people do on an everyday basis.
I need to learn how to use Excel.
Dude, it's just one of the best investments.
It saves you so much time.
Yep, it's one of the best investments anyone can ever do is investing in Excel. And actually, if you have Excel and you have that on your resume, like you're proficient, you're actually very good at Excel, you'll find out your hiring potential just went from 0 to 100. Just for the fact that you have Excel. Yep, because they'll just bring you in, like, you know Excel, huh? Let's test you out. Come on, do stuff for us. And when you do stuff for that, they'll start salivating because you can make any business run 100 times better. Yeah, it's that simple. They give you numbers and you make magic with them. You make curves. What?
Oh.
As like an investment, like if you guys have Skillshare, not sponsored, or Udemy or any of those.
Udemy, Udemy. I use Udemy.
Yeah, I
What's
personally use
Udemy?
Udemy
It's
too.
like Skillshare?
It's Skillshare, but you buy the
Udemy's better.
course. Yeah, you buy the course, and that's it. You have access to it for life, no subscription. I like that better because I'm inconsistent with my courses. I don't look up every day. So. They have a lot of discounts right now, not sponsored. And I
Udemy,
bought
here's your guy.
Yeah, I bought a class on Excel, and I'm gonna get to it at some point. And the second I get it, I'll get a nice certificate on my certificate, and I'm gonna put it everywhere in every resume I have. I have Excel. I'm good at Excel, people. Excel rules the world. Google has nothing. I bet Google uses fucking Excel.
Probably, I wouldn't be surprised.
I bet the people who program the fucking Google alternative use Excel to program the other alternative. We just
Windows
don't know
and
about
Android.
it.
That's all you need.
It's Microsoft versus Google. That to me, those are the two that can rule the world.
Windows
and in my
and
opinion,
Android.
and I know. And Microsoft wins, at least to me.
But I always think, like, every time I think about Google, it's like I get scared because the amount of information that they have from their search engine, their accounts, the maps, it's just amazing, like terrifying, to be honest.
No, you know why Google doesn't scare me?
Yeah.
They do what is it called? Google Plus. It fails miserably.
Yeah.
They do
Stadia.
Stadia fails miserably. Google Hangouts fails miserably.
They aren't an impervious force. They're prone to mistakes just like everyone else.
It's very simple.
Yeah.
They have two things: their search engine and their maps. Anything else is just breaks apart.
YouTube is breaking apart,
Their
so
phones
yeah.
are doing. Even their phones aren't doing pretty good right now. The Pixel 4, people hate the Pixel 4 compared to the 3.
Yep. And of course YouTube.
And
slowly going down.
Yeah, because people hate YouTube as well. I'm noticing this trend. A lot of people like the fingerprint sensor more than the Face ID. I like the fingerprint reader too on the smartphone. I like the fingerprint reader.
I like no
I
password.
like it too. I like it better.
I
We
personally
like
like
what
no
better,
password.
Mr. Fancy?
Because the fingerprint sensor works in the dark.
And it's
Without problem.
also more convenient than doing this every 3 seconds.
Because
Yeah,
Face
yeah.
ID, because
Just
Face
do
ID,
this, yeah.
Face ID with a shitty camera is not a good combination. And not all Androids are built equally when it comes to the camera.
Yep.
Fingerprint sensor is probably superior. I personally don't have lock on my phone, so I don't really care. I
Plus-
don't want the extra step of clicking something.
Plus, it's
You don't
harder to replicate a fingerprint than someone's face.
Then poor Apple users. The iPhone X doesn't have the fingerprint; they have the face.
Oh shit!
You face it. Yep, they don't have the
Yeah,
fingerprint.
they only have face.
Well, they did this
Yeah,
to
they all have
themselves.
face.
I'm not even feeling
Yep.
bad for them.
It's Apple.
So,
But
like,
people buy
half
it.
the time they're gonna type in the password.
Dude, you know how people are scared about Google because they think they're going to make a huge AI? You know, Elon Musk is like, I'm worried about Google because they're really close to terminating it. Personally, I think since Google is in charge of making the AI, when they come up with the AI, what they'll get is like a racist redneck who wants to create a sister AI. That's how I think Google will eventually do it. You know, they'll make an AI that's terrifyingly bad. If Microsoft was building it, though, Bill Gates is scary, okay? You see his face, it's like, yeah, I'm so friendly, but I'm gonna fuck you, you know? That's how he looks like, okay?
Gates left.
Yeah, but you know he's still in cahoots. They still give him phone calls, okay?
Because they need him.
Yeah, like, you know, with the friendly glasses. Oh, let's do the ice bucket challenge. You know, no, you're up to something.
Do you think in the office they refer him as Lord or God?
Lord
God,
Gates,
Bill Gates.
Supreme Leader Gates.
Yeah, something like that. I feel like they call him out like that.
Führer Gates. He certainly looks like it, dude. He looks like he burned all your bank accounts as as a kid. You know, he looks like dude. There's evil in those eyes. Okay,
There is
Right?
this factoid clip that always fascinated me. I never bothered to look it up if it was true or not, but it said something like, if Bill Gates were just walking around and he accidentally dropped a $100 bill, it literally wouldn't be worth his time to go back and pick up that $100 bill.
Yeah. I read about it before.
yeah, he makes more money walking. I still
And
remember.
all of us combined.
No, dude,
know,
Bill
and-
Gates. Yeah.
And he got this look that's so humble of a look that he knows that he's better than you.
Yes, right.
But he's nice about it. He's nice
Yeah.
about it.
And that's the worst part. That's the worst part. You want him to brag. You want him to be arrogant. You want to hate him. He looks like he's your friendly grandpa who retired and made it big, and he's sitting at his beach house cooking you like fancy steak and wanting you to enjoy the experience. And you're like, I want to punch you. Okay, but you're so nice. I hate Bill Gates because of this. It's just everything is fucked. Everything in my head is.
It's a punchable face, but it's not. It's Ted Cruz if he was likable. It's Ted Cruz if you liked him.
Dude, Ted Cruz grew a beard, and I have to say,
The beard looks good on him.
he
needs
should
to
have done
keep
it.
the beard.
He should have done it last election. He probably would have done way better. And I think that's why he did it.
The
he
beard
looks
is
less-
doing wonders for him right now.
Yeah, he looks less like he's trying to perv on, to sniff girls, and he's more. He looks like an actual parliamentarian. Okay, without the beard, he's like. But with the beard, he's less of a reptile. Okay. No, I saw him the other day doing a podcast with Nigel Farage, and him sitting with the beard. Yeah, actually, I'm like, I'd vote for that. That's how it looked like. It's very, very, very. I really wish Ted Cruz runs next time because actually he's
The
a very
beard will
good, very
help.
good senator. He's a very good senator. Like I've watched him in law courts and I've watched him in places, and I'm like, memes aside, he's pretty good. He's not half bad. But of course, because he's a Republican,
Therefore, he's bad.
yes.
Too shabby.
How dare he challenge the patriarchy or support the patriarchy? I don't know.
Yeah, well, I've always wondered why our Democrats are always salty.
Because they lost. That's the only reason. If they won, they'd be like, in your face.
The right always wins. That's truthful. Probably
No,
gonna be something bad. They've been salty since 2012.
Since the American Civil War.
Since they took their slaves away.
Yeah, since they took their slaves away, and then, funny enough, the one who fought for the freedom of slavery are the Republicans.
It's hilarious. No, here's the thing about Democrats, right? When the Republicans lost against Obama twice, they didn't say shit. Okay, they're like,
They
oh,
took the
okay,
defeat. Okay.
he's my president. We're gonna move on, right? And then you see the Democrats when Trump won. No,
Dude,
You know?
every time I feel bad, I always watch the compilation again.
Yeah, of course you have to.
My favorite is always the Young Turks' reaction to Trump winning.
No. My favorite. Okay, that is true. Out of the Trump reactions, that one is great. But if I want to feel good, I just Google Trigglypuff song,
Yeah.
and I see people remixing Trigglypuff, and I feel good about myself.
Jigglypuff?
No, Trigglypuff. Oh, how dare you, Arab? I'm gonna have to play it. Trigglypuff. Trigglypuff the Great.
What the hell is Trigglypuff?
This is Trigglypuff. Let me screen share real quick. How do I screen share? Yeah, share screen.
But yeah, I'd vote
Yes.
for this guy. I'd vote for this guy right here. That's votable.
There we go. That's way better. Way better.
I've seen his old picture. It looks like a pedophile.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
It's a massive glow up.
There you go. There you
Kind
go.
of like you, Trillium, before the beard.
Can you guys hear?
No.
No.
Okay, I'm gonna send the link and you guys watch it later. Okay. This is where is she? This is Trigglypuff. Where is she? That's Trigglypuff. See her?
Oh, I've seen that meme before.
Yeah,
You're
I've
guessing why they
Trigglypuff.
Why we call her a Trigglypuff.
Because she's
Keep
triggered.
your hate speech off this campus.
No,
Keep his
no,
hate speech
triggered.
off this campus.
Every part in her body moves on its own. It's like a physics object.
She perfected the physics engine.
The perfect meme wouldn't be the image of her. It would be like an abstract of like the mathematical lines and curves with the equation symbols.
There's an equation.
Dude, next gen graphics will require her equipped with all the thingies, for the for the graphics, just to perfect the jiggle physics.
It'll be a template that any developer can use for their physics engine.
Yep, Unreal. Look this up. It's time for you to shine. Time to be less shit. There you go. Actually, speaking of Unreal, what do you guys think of Unreal Engine or engines in general that are outsourced for people to make games with?
I miss the days when people would make their own engine for their games, because consolidating does make it easier and more accessible for developers to make games, but you do notice a lot of similarities between games now with like lighting and shadows and physics and all that. Having your own engine does help a lot. Look at the Zelda games. Like each Zelda game looks different.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
but like
my problem with game engines, actually. Okay,
One
continue.
by one,
sir.
guys. One by one. Yeah, thank you.
All right.
it gives developers opportunity. It's better than hacking anything.
You lose the personality of the game, though.
Well, yes, you do, but like it's a gateway. In my opinion, it's a gateway for better things later. You start with one shitty game that looks like the other shitty game, then you have a team. That team gets big, and so on and so forth.
It's a good way to start your own journey to become a game developer. There's always that one Unity or Unreal Engine game for every indie developer.
Yeah. Speaking of game engines, what do you guys think about Dreams, the PS4 game?
Dreams.
Dreams?
Never heard of it. What is that?
Look up a video game donkey. It's basically a $60 game engine that allows people to create their own video games and share them and play each other's video games online. It's basically a game engine. It's basically like YouTube, but for video games. Like people can
PS4?
create people can create and share video games. Look it up. It's crazy because it's like it's a huge licensing disaster because people are just like creating like Mario and Sonic and Metal Gear and all these
Of course
Of
they did.
course.
Of course they did. Oh dear.
No, look up Dreams PS4. Video Game Donkey has a couple of videos on it
It
too.
reminds me of Little Big Planet. Shall I?
Let's take a look. See.
It's Dreams could be the next YouTube. Because you don't have to share games. You can share like videos and pictures too.
Right now it's the $40 for it. Oh, sorry, $39.99 for the
Yeah.
thing. If you can dream it, you can. You know what this sounds like? It sounds like some game developer didn't want to develop games anymore, and so they're like, you know what, you guys make the game. I'll just sit here. You know?
No, but it's a fascinating concept, like the sharing aspect of it. Like people creating and sharing games directly and thumbs up, thumbs down. It's like YouTube, but for people's
Yeah,
video.
but how good is the editor? Is it Super Mario Maker or is it?
Well, there's a lot of variety. Like the editor has to be good because there's a lot of variety in the kinds of games that are being good, and some of them are super high quality too.
All
Yeah,
right.
but that doesn't mean the editor should be good. I mean, the
Like
same
I
concept
recommend
with
watching a
Maker.
couple of videos on it. It's fascinating.
Okay.
Like in Mario Maker, the editor is shit, but people find a way to
make it
manage.
good.
Yeah,
People-
if you grind enough, yeah.
Yeah, people actually like the first Mario Maker more than the second one because it works better with the Wii U gamepad.
Mm-hmm. They didn't
Actually,
utilize the touch screen for some reason.
when it comes to, and yeah, they didn't, and that doesn't make sense, right? But here's the thing, right? With engines, I think if you're going to make a single game, it doesn't make sense for you to make your own engine unless you're like a AAA developer like Nintendo. It's way better for you to actually save your budget and work on like Unreal or whatever whatever else exists that has the similar effect. And the main thing is you save up money and on the engine, because that takes a lot of time to make an engine from scratch using like C# or C++ or Java or any of these coding softwares. Instead, you get Unreal Engine and you do it quickly. It's only when you start a franchise, something like Call of Duty, when you need a proper engine to build from scratch, because you're going to keep building on it, so you need to customize it to your own needs. But if you're building a single game, not a franchise, just one game, it's always more advantageous for you to actually go for one of the already existing engines. What do you guys think about that?
What are the existing engines that you can use? Are there a lot or just a few? Because most of them are private.
Well, we have Unreal, and we have, what's the other one? That's the one
Unity.
Nobody liked. Yeah,
Unity?
Unity. There we go.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Unity.
So that's it,
Frostbite.
Unreal and Unity?
Frostbite.
I don't know if there are any more. Frostbite. Okay.
Yeah, I've heard about Frostbite.
Mhm.
Yep. So there are a couple, and they are growing in popularity.
There are a lot, actually.
Yep.
Well, you can always. There's always an engine for you.
Yep. And it's very good, especially for like somebody like us. If us five decided to build a game and we don't know much about coding, it's way better to actually learn video game development concepts via something like Unreal Engine than to worry about the code, because that's where a lot of people stop. They don't know how to code.
And
Well,
coding
Unreal-
isn't where you're going to learn much about game design and direction. And
Yep.
I'll also say one thing. If you work on your game, let's say you made it in Unreal Engine, if you work on it hard enough, it will be like let's say a new game. Like you would not see much similarities in it with the other Unreal games.
And
It
then
would
you
look
could
good.
always revisit it years later and like give it a remake if you really wanted to. Like a
Yeah.
lot of,
Actually,
But I saw some games made on the Unreal Engine that don't look like games made in Unreal Engine. I've seen it.
no, Unreal is beautiful. Unreal gives you tools.
I love Unreal.
I've seen Octopath Traveler, and I did not I played it a couple of times, and I didn't notice until one time I loaded up the screen and it said Unreal Engine, and I'm like, no way. However, the engine that always that was made in it's Unity. You always know that an engine was made in Unity.
Always get the free version.
Yeah, because it's mostly people who are young and they want to it's a lot of one-man, two-man teams, and so they don't have enough polish. And
the only game that I think worsened because of going to like a pre-existing engine was Kingdom Hearts 3. Because Kingdom Hearts 3, when it went to it didn't have the same look as the other games. Because that franchise had its own engine. And instead of building upon that existing engine, you abandoned it.
Yeah, that for a franchise, it doesn't make sense to actually use one of those open source engines. You shouldn't do that in that case. But in the case of again singular games,
But how do you know
actually,
when you're making a game if it's going to be a franchise or not?
well, it depends. Are you a AAA company trying to start a franchise, or are you just a company, like a group of a small development studio who want to show that they can make games? It's very different.
So more circumstance.
Yeah, mostly circumstance. It's the planning stage. When you start planning to design a game, one of the first questions is, should we make it in a free source engine or should we make our own engine? And you guys should decide whether you're starting a franchise or not. And if you're not, you should stick to that decision and just build a new game after it. It's think of it like this: if Demon's Souls was made on Unreal Engine,
It was?
if the game Demon's Souls, which is the prerequisite to Dark Souls, right? The games have no relation to each other besides that they share the same engine, right? If you had decided way back when Unreal existed and you wanted to make Demon's Souls, you probably would have made it in Unreal Engine. And when you realize that you have a model that you can use to develop, now you would have actually transferred it into your own proper engine. So one would be the test, but the successor that has no relation with the predecessor would be in a new engine with a slight slick look.
What?
Well, nothing to say. Like you said it all.
Yes, I kind of do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, do you guys think? I mean, animation is loving its time with like having an animation engine because it just saves so much time. Do you think that we'll eventually have like an engine for almost like every development thing? Like for any art form, we'll have like an engine that does stuff for us.
Well, aren't applications that help you make music? Let's say there are some, right? Like applications
they
that help
exist.
you. Yeah, aren't these applications considered, let's say, engines?
In a way, yeah, they are the predecessor.
In a way, yeah.
Okay.
In a way,
Yeah.
they do.
There's your answer.
So yeah, when will we get like one for like VR, where you put the VR and then you kind of do everything like this, and you get to this. Imagine this, right? You go into a VR room to design your video game graphics, and you do it. You take a brush or something, and you put your VR glasses, and you zoom into the room, and you actually add the details live instead of doing it via software, and that way you get the human stroke. When will that happen? I want that. Imagine
That's when I'll buy the VR.
me? No, fuck that. Dude, okay, VR scares me, but it has so much utility if you think about it.
People get motion sickness from VR.
Well, it's going better.
I think there's an
being explained
option.
that thing right now,
Yeah, actually, you can.
Motion blur?
You know?
Or-
Motion blur.
Or is it different than motion blur?
I think
it's
it's the same
different.
thing.
It's mainly with the frame rates, and it's getting better. It's a hardware thing. It's just a hardware issue.
Let me just tell you my experience with VR. Like my friend had an HTC Vive. Okay, we were playing one of those sword fighting games. Okay, I was playing, was having fun and all that, swinging my sword everywhere. I was moving in the room. It was fine, no motion sickness whatsoever. But in the game, I have to move with a stick. Okay, the
Right.
moment that I moved with the stick, I instantly felt extremely sick. I removed the headphones. So normal movement in the VR, like moving around the room,
Your
it's
brain
fine.
has to adjust to it.
Yeah, my friend said that you get used to it, and that's pretty much it.
But there's an
Here-
adjustment period.
Yeah, dude, here's
Yeah.
my thing with VR. I put on VR, like my first experience with VR and my last experience with VR. It was basically, you remember when I bought my Samsung S7 way back when?
I remember,
Instead
I
of a
remember.
graphics card, yeah, it came with the VR thing. And I put it, And the second I put it, every spine in my body, just like every hair in my body turned up. And I'm like, nope, this is the worst. This is the demon, you know?
But let me tell you something. This is like nothing like the HTC Vive. You pay
Yeah, of course.
$500 for something that, like, I told you, when I put it normally, when I moved in the room, like, it was fine. I really felt like I was in the room in VR, of course. It's great, but still.
I still despise VR for one thing. It made like furry chats, and I don't like that. Okay?
Oh yeah, VR chat.
Yeah.
VR
you know,
chat.
One day I want to experience it in VR.
No, you don't. You know, you don't want. You know,
once, at least once. I want to see it for myself.
do you really want to talk to a fox man? Do you really want to do that? Is that part of your like?
Who was that
I'm
YouTuber? Who was that YouTuber who was getting a lot of subscribers because he did like repair videos or like interesting craft videos, and then it found out he was a what was the name of that channel?
Yes, I have no
Found out
idea. Bedrock Kuwait, where you at? Give us context.
What?
Like, he's the one who told me about this. Basically, there was a repair, like a reviewer who does repairs and stuff like that for like hardware, if I remember correctly. And and it was always great. One day he live streamed, and when he live streamed, he put like a his persona live, and when he talks, the persona talks, right? And everybody was like, "What the fuck? Where did you come from?" It always catches people off guard. It always catches people off guard. You know, when you're a regular human being and then people find out you're a furry, you're just less, you know. You know, I'm waiting for our first furry president.
You think it's gonna happen? Not now, of course, but later.
No, it's possible. I mean,
Dude, when we become the boomers, when our generation becomes the boomers, I think we'll do it. I think we'll vote them in.
For the meme?
Yes, I think we'll do it. We're crazy. This generation is a bit too crazy. Okay, we'll do stuff for the memes. Just look at PewDiePie.
Will we even make it to old age?
Why?
Dun.
Why? What will stop us?
It's Corona time.
I think the boomers that we have now are just gonna get mad and nuke everybody.
Oh, yeah.
No, I don't think so. What I think will happen is that you know that Bill Burr bit where he says like, you know, we're gonna make sex robots that feel way better, and then nobody will make kids anymore because the sex with the robot feels much better, and eventually that's just what's gonna happen. I think that's the one. I think the robots are gonna fuck us into extinction. That's the one I like. So it's gonna take a while, you know, and it's gonna feel real good. Okay. That's the one I'm going
The question is, will we be there to witness the extinction?
Yes, of course. We'll be the last people, you know, with our sex robots. And it's like, I think we're going extinct.
Imagine
It's okay. It's okay.
Imagine you have a son or daughter. Imagine you have a son or daughter, and they're gonna bring home their boyfriend or girlfriend to dinner, and then a robot walks in the door.
Why?
No, it's even better. It's even better because, you know, like, you know, the next generation will have kids, and their caretaker will be the robot. You know, and as they grow up and they get mature and they know, it's like, oh, so my caretaker, my dad fucks that every day. He fucks my robot caretaker every day.
oh,
Yes, the future is bright, people.
we should get extinct.
But
That's why-
how long till the revolt?
No. That's why I agree with Elon Musk's advice, and we should all upload ourselves into Minecraft. Okay.
Or we could
That's a real
put
tweet?
our consciousness in the robot.
Yes.
Upload
Elon
our
Musk-
consciousness.
Yep.
And
he's
here's the thing: if the robots like get destroyed, we don't get destroyed because we're also connected to the cloud.
Yep. And you get to play Minecraft. Win-win.
Here you go.
Win-win. You get to mine
Only-
and then craft.
We only have to pay half of our salary to Apple, to our lords, and they will upload this to the cloud.
Lord Jobs.
Yeah, look.
Yeah, we'll have builders in Apple. We'll build a society. You know, you gather resources, I build stuff, and then there's that one rich guy who has all the food. You know, who monopolize the cows.
Yeah.
Oh.
And there are the people who keep game overing because they don't have any food.
Every time I think about it, you can't.
Dude, that's where being toxic helps you. Whenever we get uploaded into Minecraft, you guys will, the people who were already toxic are going to benefit a lot. They will gather the resources. They will, destroy other people's buildings unless you pay them a fee in like emeralds or something.
So you can say that Vikings were toxic in the end.
Of course, yeah, they were toxic gamers. They were salty. They don't, they lived in an ice biome and they don't have any food, so they had to.
They had this conversation.
Explaining the world in Minecraft.
5-minute YouTube video.
But yeah, we should wrap up now. We're already at the 2-hour mark. Closing remarks, everybody.
Thank you.
We'd all
I
live in
won't be.
Minecraft. Yeah.
This was a good stream. It was nice to be here. Don't expect me to be in the Tuesday streams often. Just had the day off today. Got lucky. So we'll see what happens.
It's Corona, man. There are no jobs anymore.
No, I still work.
He's essential personnel. What about you, Mousa? Closing remarks?
Essential? Just a question.
What?
Is Walmart considered essential?
Yes.
Oh yes.
Of course, half the economy is Walmart. But yeah, Mousa, closing remarks?
I hope we're getting our financial support because I want new
Alhamdulillah, you
iPhone.
guys are doing financial
Alhamdulillah.
support.
Well, yeah, that's my closing remarks. Please.
Fancy?
Life will keep on going. Things will always happen.
Bye,
smile
guys.
at the sun.
Okay. Hamod, closing remarks?
I just want to say Alhamdulillah for our government. That's it.
Alhamdulillah.
I hope you die first from Corona.
Alhamdulillah, we're not Americans, huh?
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
How does it feel to be American Muslim, huh?
I'm proud to be American. Alhamdulillah.
On that note, people, good to have you. See you guys next time. Stay salty.
Bye bye.
Seriously, stay salty.
I don't know. It's my first time. Fuck you. First time I used it.